Hi, I'm Arnout Brokking, and this is Hollow Land. Today we'll be playing with some wonderful people. We have Roos, we have Daniel, we have Leonoor, and we have Lexter. Thank you all for joining us. And we'll take you and we'll take the viewer at home throughout the whole process of creating a character, having a first look at the setting, and then playing the game. You start by creating a character, someone who you want to be in this world at the end of the 19th century. You are destined for something big. You were born with an exceptional talent, yet there's just something that's stopping you from quite reaching your goals. There's just some way that, luck's not on your side, someone else always gets ahead. You have this talent, but you're just not at the place where you want to be. And that's where we are, that's where we start our story. You, as an underdog in a dog-eat-dog world, sort of at the crossroads, thinking, okay, how long can I struggle? Will things change? Or is this just what life is going to be? So I'd like you all to think of someone who you want to play and think of a talent. So I would like every one of you to make a quick introduction of what character you would be playing today, and we'll start on this side again with
Sure.
Roos.
Yeah. So, like you said, I'm Rose. I'm going to be playing Cordelia today. Her full name is Cordelia Beatrice Lowe, or Trixie to friends and family. I'm from London. I work in my dad's antique shop called Lowe & Clark. I don't know, I'm just here to look for some cool stuff. Maybe find some stuff to sell. Pretty good at appraising stuff. I always know how to sell something, so if you need any help with that, come to me. And I think that's it for now.
Brilliant. Daniel?
Well, I'm Daniel. Today I'm playing Alcides, who is a young doctor who's trying to find a cure for a new deadly disease, who's killing mostly young people. I'm trying to find always people who are infected to try to cure them and find the path for this new treatment or vaccine, maybe.
Okay. You're here in the Netherlands to find more people to join in on your research?
Yep.
Cool. Really nice. Leonoor?
I'm Leonoor. I am Louis. I'm a bricklayer. I'm born and raised The Haguean, I don't know how to say it, but I'm from The Hague. And I have 6 children, and I am good at, I have a great eye for detail.
Cool. Interesting. Lexter?
In this game, I'm Eloïse. I am originally from Paris, and I'm busy in the oldest profession that there is. So I'm a former prostitute, and even in Paris I used to have a team of girls, and they're still doing their thing. But I left France to come to the Netherlands, The Hague, because I'm a future engineer, and I'm convinced that I can leave my old life behind, even though it pops up. But I'm convinced that I can leave that behind, and with my endurance and I've taken lots of hits in my past, different ways. But that's going to help me in becoming an engineer. So that's me, Eloïse, 30 years old, future engineer.
In front of you, you have a character sheet. It has several different boxes. If you've thought up a name, there's a box called Name. You can put a little description, if you want, in the top left-hand corner. If you know the profession that your character has, or their age, they can go in the right-hand corner. The pronouns you want to use, And that's where we start. In the middle of the page, there is an area specifically designed for your talent. And on the opposite side, there's also a little something for setbacks. And in case you have any goals that you want to reach, but that you haven't reached yet, you can put those there as well. So for the rest, you have a bottom side of your page. That's the area of skills. Throughout the game, you will encounter situations in which you can use your skills to achieve things. Either, I don't know, investigate a crime scene or climb a mountain. And whether you'll be successful at the challenge depends, well, partly on the difficulty of the challenge and partly on how high your die roll is. And there are things you are better at and there are things you're not quite as good at. And which die you roll depends on how good you are. So there's a whole list of them. I'll quickly go through them and explain what each means. We have, starting at the top left, we have empathy. You use empathy for understanding other people's emotions and motivations to get a gauge of their psychology or to understand how they're feeling and maybe interact with them and be comforting or stuff like that. It's just emotional skill at talking to someone. Next, you have diplomacy. Diplomacy is not the same as empathy. Empathy is like you really care for someone. Diplomacy is just I want to, convince you of my point of view, or I want to get something done by you. So it's for convincing others of your point of view. Capital is money. It's issues concerning money. Do you have a lot of money in your daily life, or do you not have a lot of money in your daily life? Alertness is how attentive you are. It's how quickly you spot something. It's your perception. It's whether you are quick to react to a sudden noise, or whether you're just not very good at all of those things at all, which is different from intelligence. Intelligence is for understanding clues. So say you come across different things. Intelligence is, can my character link these things together and come to a conclusion quickly on why certain things has happened or not. Intelligence is also searching for clues. Say you're going to search the theft of a book or something, and you go into a room. Intelligence will help you look for clues that might indicate, okay, the book was there, it got stolen, there's footprints here, that sort of thing. Then there's intuition. Intuition is feeling the vibe of the thing. It's for using more than your regular five senses. It's that hunch, that sort of, I don't know, but there's something going on here. It's for the things you can't see, you can't touch, you can't, sense. So that's the left-hand side, and the left-hand side is mostly mental things. The right-hand side is mostly physical things. There's physical strength, that's just for brute force, how strong you are. There is mental strength, which is for the discipline of your mind, how dedicated are you into seeing things through, or whether you're flighty and you get distracted really quickly. There's dexterity, which is how good you are in accomplishing physical feats that don't need strength. So, for example, walking a tightrope, or climbing a wall, or fiddling with something really tiny. That might be a dexterity roll. You have endurance. Endurance is how tough your body is. How long can you withstand a cold, or how long can you withstand heat, or you might not be strong, but you might be tough and resilient. For example, someone who never gets cold, that's someone who has better endurance. And then there's keen eye, and keen eye is how well your vision is, and it can be used more in a combat sense, as in, say I want to throw this dice at Olga. Keen eye will help determine whether I can hit her or not. Pick the skills that best correspond with your character's background and divide the dice as follows. The skill that your character would be best at gets a d12. The two skills that your character is worst at get a d4. In between, the three skills that your character is not good at, but better at than a D4, they get a D6. The skills that your character is mediocre at, that's another 3, they get a D8. And then there's 2 left. Those skills are skills that your character is reasonably okay at. So you have 2 D4s for bad, 3 D6s for not very good, 3 D8s for mediocre, 2 D10s for reasonable, and 1 D12 for good.
No, I'm confused now.
You're confused
What
now?
are you
That's all right.
Yeah.
We can go through it together. We'll start by the things you're bad at. All right? What's Eloïse bad at? There should be 2 things that she's really bad at.
Intuition
You're right.
and alertness.
All right. So for intuition and alertness, you've marked
Yeah.
the triangle.
Yeah.
Then there's 3 things she's not very good at, but she's also not horrible at.
Mm-hmm.
Which
This
3?
one?
Which 3 things?
That is diplomacy
Mm-hmm.
and physical strength
All right.
and keen eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she might be a bit short-sighted, or
Yeah.
and she might be not the most diplomatic, high society person around in the world yet.
Exactly.
Then there's things that she's actually okay at, that she's sort of, average at.
Empathy, capital, mental strength.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So she's pretty normal in empathic ways and mental strength. She's not the bravest person around. She's also not the biggest coward around.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's 2 things that she's actually quite good at, that she's better than average.
That's intelligence
Mhm.
and that's endurance.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's a smart cookie,
Yeah.
and she's not a quitter.
Yeah.
She can take quite a lot of hardship. And there's one thing that she's pretty good at.
Okay, that's dexterity.
Yes,
Oh,
that's perfect.
Yeah.
So she's someone who's very nimble, acrobatic,
Yeah.
but who's also smart
Yeah.
and can handle a lot of hardship.
Yeah.
That's mostly it. She's just not very intuitive. The whole vibe of the thing might just move past her. She
Yeah.
just sort of like, oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
That's
it.
good.
That's Eloïse.
Alright. Now there's one last thing, and that is the health you start with. How
Oh,
healthy
yeah.
are you before we begin? You can see there's a number of hearts printed on the left hand side. It says physical, and underneath it says injuries. You don't have any injuries at this point, but maybe, who knows, you might fall down a staircase. You might bump your head someplace weird, and then you can note it down there. Your physical health is 1 plus 1/4 of your endurance rounded up. And that sounds very difficult, but I'll use Eloïse as an example.
Mm-hmm.
You have an endurance of 10,
Mm-hmm.
so 1/4 of that is 2.5, but we round it up, so it's 3.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Good.
Plus 1, so you start with 4 hearts.
Oh, wow.
Oh, math. I got the math is
Can you do it with me?
Yes, I can do it with you as well. Daniel, what's your endurance?
6.
So you took 6, so we took 1/4 of 6, which is 1.5. So you round it up to 2, and you always add 1, so you have a health of 3.
I have an endurance of 4, so that's 1 plus 1 is 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there's your mental health, is in how well you are doing in life. It also depends on your mental health, I can attest to personally. You look at your skill, which mental strength you have. Leonoor, shall we use you as an example
Yeah.
this time?
I have 8.
Okay, so you have the D8, so you take 1/4 of that,
2.
that's 2. you add 1, so you have a mental health of 3.
Same. Mental
Also
health
mental
3.
health of 3.
I have mental health 10.
Oh yeah, so that makes it 4. Because 10 divided by 4 is 2.5. Round it up makes 3. Add 1 is. This is a bit of arithmetic, but it is in case you may end up in conflict, and maybe someone might want to hit you over the head. So we know whether that knock will actually knock you unconscious or whether you'll be able to handle
Makes
the
sense.
impact.
Yep.
And that's actually it. Oh, we also have speed. That's how fast you are.
Mm-hmm.
The speed is your physical strength. If we go Rose, which
Yeah, that's
what-
that's a D4 for me. So
yeah, so your speed would be 2.
Me too.
Yours 2.
D8.
So your speed would be 3.
4.
So your speed's also 2.
Our whole totals.
Yeah, you guys are
not the quickest, but it's
That's
okay.
okay.
We're intelligent.
yes. You just make sure you don't get into any situations where you have to run away, or push someone with a lot of health in front of you. So that they
Sorry,
can-
guys. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And what are cooperation and reputation?
Okay, well, everyone starts with cooperation in 1 square. Cooperation is an important part of HoloLand, the larger campaign. It's where you help each other out, because we think that teamwork is important. So you have 1 d6 that you can also use as a cooperation die, where you can go say before someone tries to attempt something, you can say, "Oh, I'm going to help them." For example, Eloïse might want to climb a wall. Alcides might say, well, I want to help her and give her a leg up so she can climb the wall easier. You can roll this and add the number to the number
Whatever
you
you
roll.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So your result will always be higher, so your chance of success will always be larger. You can only use your cooperation die once per day.
So if you sleep, you get it back.
Yes. It's sort of like you have an amount of times you can help other people, and then you have to sort of recharge and do some self-care and sit in bars and go, oh yeah, well, okay, I'll just sit here with my wine and relax and
And so if we played for a longer amount of time together, we could earn more cooperation dice.
Yes, if you play the main campaign, as you go along, you can gain cooperation dice, you can get better at skills, you can earn special achievements and experiences which are tailor-made to what has happened in your storyline. So for example, if Louise came across a lot of snakes all of the time, either you get better at dealing with snakes or you get worse at dealing with snakes, depending on how it goes, and you can note that down on your character sheet, and in this next situation it'll affect how easy it'll be for you to deal with snakes.
And reputation?
Reputation starts at 6, but in this instance we don't do anything with reputation. It'll be for the main campaign.
Yeah.
Reputation is how well known is your group and are you in the world, because as you go through your adventure you will build up a reputation among some people, and for some people that reputation will be a positive thing, because they'll rally behind you and they'll go, yeah, we want to be with those guys, they're awesome. And for some other people that reputation might be a negative, as in, oh, we don't want them to mess in our business. So that's more for the main campaign, where it changes as the other choices you make and as it grows and as you
Yeah. Eloïse was just worried about, like her background.
yeah.
So that's
With your reputation, everyone starts at a D6 for that, but we won't be using it for.
And the background, like the setbacks, what have been your setbacks that will be used?
That's just personal.
That's just personal. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no game mechanics about it. It's just who you are and what you want to be and how you want to interact.
Great.
I think that's all the character sheets out of the way. That's the boring side in a way. I think we'll take a quick break and then we'll start for realsies. Woo! And all the
Exciting.
preparation is over.